Our locals in the NFL draft previews continue. This time we're breaking down a Utah wide receiver, Devaughn Vele. You saw Devaughn Vele up close and personal, SLY, many times. I know how much you love him. We'll start breaking him down here. Go over first, like, what is it about him physically that he showed off in the combine and in his games that you love?
Well, I think he only helped himself in the combine.
Yeah.
But check this out. 6'4", 203 pounds, 33-inch arms. He can go out and get it. We talked about it during the season. Where's his catch radius? Anywhere
Everywhere.
in here.
Yep.
I can catch anything. I don't have to have it solid in here. He's got solid hands. He pulls. But this is a big, big, big thing here. Look at the jump from the first run to the second run. He runs a sub 4.5 40 at 6'4", 203 pounds. That is great. He had an amazing combine. I think that helped him out a ton, right? Because this past year we were offensively challenged at Utah.
You could say that.
And so he wasn't getting the production that you're normally seeing from a Devaughn Vele. But to see that he has the capability of being that guy, you know, running that sub 4.4, 36-inch vertical at 6'4". That's 9 foot 10 inches if you're on the basketball court right now. And that's a standing vertical. And imagine it is in running. And so, like, you can throw the ball to this guy down in the end zone. You can throw the guy one-on-ones, and he's going to come down with it. He is that type of receiver. He's dynamic. I think he did a tremendous job of helping propel himself up higher in the rounds getting drafted this year.
So he's got the measurables and the stats in the combine that scouts love. What does he do on the field that really stands out that GMs and scouts in the NFL are going, I like this guy?
I mean, we talked about the little things that are great, right? He's big, this and that, but his route running, right? One, he puts defenders in a box, right? Because they don't know. He runs all the routes. I've seen all of these NFL routes, the under routes, the comeback routes, the double moves. He does them all at an extremely high level. Here against USC, setting them up outside. You've seen Devontae Adams run that route plenty of times. He runs all of those routes, and luckily they got the same number too.
Yeah.
But he runs all of those routes very, very similarly. Again, he goes into the right situation. This guy will take off, and he'll have an amazing year. He has the feet. And what's great, we didn't use him that much this year. So I think he ended the season extremely healthy. As you can see in the combine, he did well. He's got the pro day coming up here in a couple weeks. He is going to be a huge asset to any team that takes a chance on him.
How about football IQ?
Man, huge. So I absolutely love it. Of course, I'm biased. I had an extremely great viewpoint of him these last 3 years. But here, I'm right here on the sideline somewhere. But I remember this play vividly. This is at the end of the first half. They're driving down the field, 2-minute offense, and him and Cam Rising are on the same page. They called this corner out 3 different times on this route, and he ran it 3 different ways based on where the defender was. But you love it here. He can catch the ball, but also get his feet inbounds for the score. He's a sure-handed receiver, a great route runner, but his chemistry in the offense and understanding situational football is huge at the receiver position in today's game, because you got to be able to be on the same page with the quarterback. Whatever the quarterback is seeing from the middle of the field, you have to be able to see from the outside. Devaughn Vele does that at an extremely high level, which I think is one of his best assets.
You compare his production to the other receivers in the draft, it's not as good.
Right.
Why was that?
We didn't use him. I mean, if you look at his statistics from the first 6 games of the season, he's only got 15 receptions. Yes, he was throwing the ball some, but those balls were high. They were in the dirt, not even catchable balls. I know his catch radius is here, but get it in this area and he could catch it. So they weren't doing it. When they started targeting him a lot more, this is the final 4 games. This was actually the final 3 games of the season because he didn't play against Colorado. 28 receptions, 392 yards, and 3 touchdowns in just 3 games. That big breakout first half against Washington this year, he had 111 yards in the first half. He was getting it done. This Devaughn Vele is very capable of being a highly rated receiver. You didn't have the production this year. GMs definitely have to look at the routes he was running, because what I loved, I was at the Baylor game, right? And he was making the defenders, he was open every single time. And when you're saying open, I know receivers like, I'm open, I'm 7'11", open, right? No, literally, the defender's like 5 to 6 yards off. He's open every single time. We just couldn't get him the football.
Frustrating.
Yeah.
Well, I think a GM's going to be like, you know what? I've got a great quarterback here. I put this guy in. He's my 2nd, 3rd, or 4th receiver. We're ready to go.
Instantly.
So, all right, put your GM hat on. Where are you going to pick him?
Man, and because he has low grades, he didn't get a lot out. I think he slides in the draft. Draft is all about hype. Since he didn't have that grade of a year statistically, he's not going to show. But he had an amazing combine, so that jumps him up a ton. But for me, I think he had an undrafted 7th, 6th round grade with the combine. I think that jumps him up into the 5th round. I got him going day 3, 5th round to a talented offense like I hope my Steelers. You know, I was talking to him.
That's a good fit.
I would hope, but he just needs to go to a great offense like Andy Reid in Kansas City. They need receivers out there, and if they can get a talented guy this late in the draft, I think a team like that would definitely benefit from it.
They'll love the off-field stuff, too. Mature, return missionary,
Yes.
leadership, everything
Yes.
he did at Utah. So there's a lot of good things to like about Devaughn Vele. And you know what? There was a 5th-round receiver out of BYU taken last year. That 5th round wouldn't be so bad, would it?
Hey, man, he set a ton of records. It's not where you're drafted.
Yep.
It's about the situation you go into.
SLY, thank you. Great stuff.